Hello everyone, today we're going to go on a bit of a journey together. I don't have a script for this video, but I do have a lot to talk about and I hope it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm having fun already looking at this picture of Kazuya right here, which I think is actually official promotional material for a product, surprise surprise, that Bandai Namco are releasing. This is merchandise, or goods as it's called in Japan, for Tekken 8. It's a new pair of Tekken themed sunglasses that you can buy for, I think it's $500. But that's far from the craziest thing we're going to be talking about in the video. So the reason I'm talking about this now is I had a couple of comments a while ago recommending a YouTube video called Bandai, a terrible company that nobody talks about, by Gamer Fox. And check out the channel, check out the video. We're gonna listen to a bit of this video, but it got me thinking. And then 2 days ago I was looking around on the Steam forums for Tekken 8 because I kind of wanted to get a feel for what people are saying about the game and how the gamers are feeling these days. And I saw ads for different products that I hadn't heard of on the Steam page for Tekken 8, and the first one I saw were a couple of, here we go, of so these are Tekken themed skateboards. They're not skateboards that you can ride, or I guess you could. You just need to put additional parts on them. But these are skateboards for mounting on your wall. You can buy them for 2,339 Swedish kroner, which is the equivalent of about $230. And you can mount them on your wall. And I thought it was kind of cool that Bandai Namco are releasing a Tekken game that you can play, and now they're releasing Tekken skateboards that you can't ride. And what's funny about this, right, is that these are a limited edition product. So they're only going to make a set number of these skateboards. I think 500 is what it said. And they also have this new Kazuya Mishima neon light for your game room that you can put on your wall for, again, about $200. And it's also something that you have to buy right away because they only have a few units. Now I think these products, as far as I can tell, went on sale about 2 weeks ago. And the fun part is that there was only supposed to be 500 of them, but they still haven't sold out. So people aren't exactly, clamoring to get their hands on these things. I mean, I don't know. I've never been somebody who's into like collectibles and stuff like that. I never really saw the point of it. But, I can't imagine why anybody would want anything like this and why you would pay so much money for it. So I was playing a board game with my girlfriend yesterday, my fake Japanese waifu. It was AI, and we were just playing this board game and talking, and I said they released Tekken skateboards, and it's like an exclusive product, limited edition product, which is called a DEA product in Japanese. And they released them like 2 weeks ago and they haven't sold out. And she asked me, well, how many did they make? And I said 500, which in Japanese is 500. And she was so embarrassed and started laughing that I started laughing, and we had so much fun. So I actually recorded it for a little bit. So just want to show you our genuine reaction to Namco and their skateboards. I didn't know how to get the video from my phone into my computer, so I uploaded it to myself as a YouTube short.
500本だよ。
You can hear she's been crying
500本売れてないよ。
because she's so embarrassed for them.
13日発売だよ。
待って、500本って。
うん。
誰がやろうと思ったんだろう、それ。
So I mean, even if you don't play Tekken anymore, you can still have a lot of fun, thinking and talking about it. Anyway, so that's a genuine reaction to the idea of these skateboards, right? But it sent me into a little bit of a rabbit hole, and I started looking at a bunch of things relating to Bandai Namco and merchandising and, just what's going on with this game right now. Well, I think we should talk a little bit about the state of Tekken 8 and what's happening with that, and then I'm going to go back into talking about this whole merchandise thing, right? So, I've quit Tekken 8 and I'm not playing it or streaming it anymore, and I've said that I'm going to leave the door open for coming back if some significant changes come to the game and the way it's being handled. And you know, there are maybe two characters, Bob and Miguel, who I would come back just to try, but apart from that I don't really want to support this game anymore because of the way it's being handled. I find it, you know, difficult to play and enjoy and kind of pathetic. We don't need to go over all those things again, but what's more interesting is last time we looked at player numbers for the game, they were declining quite rapidly, and that is a trend that is continuing right now. So the game has bled another 10% of its player base in the last month, and now we're seeing increasingly that people who play a lot of Tekken and make content on the game and are Tekken influencers or whatever are deciding to sort of leave the game behind. This is Arsenal T, who is apparently considering, you know, leaving the game behind completely. Here's another one that I saw online. It's the first time I've watched Ares in a while. Let's see here.
Talk about it. Later on, I asked Rip, in a, like, you know, there were no cameras around. I was like, hey, Rip.
No cameras around, which is significant because, as you probably know, pretending to like Tekken is something Rip does for a living, and so you have to be very careful. If you talk shit about Tekken when you're on Bandai Namco's payroll, you know, Michael Murray is going to be in the DMs, you know, and he's not going to be angry. His hair is going to turn even redder as he tells you to start deleting tweets.
How do you feel about Tekken 8? What do you think? Do you like it? He's like, I don't think anybody does, do they? That's what he said. I was like, oh. And you're running a tournament for this show, huh? So he's a real man of the community, you know what I mean? He's like, I don't think anybody likes this game. Damn, dude. I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know it because you don't play it either, dude. So it seems that people who are deeply, deeply invested, you know, long-term and have been long-term in the culture of Tekken dislike the game and are maybe sticking around because it's a paycheck, but it's just kind of a frustrating nightmare to play for most legacy players. But as I'm reading all these reactions, you know, and you can read, for example, this thread where people talk about, you know, Arsenal quitting the game potentially. There are a lot of people who enjoy it as well, but it does seem to be the general trend that if you are new, casual, not as invested in playing Tekken long term, you probably enjoy it a little bit more. And if you are a legacy player and somebody who, like, you know, wants to play at a high level, it's just really frustrating. And the main culprit of that whole thing is the heat system. People don't seem to enjoy the heat system at all and what it does to the gameplay and how much less dynamic it becomes. And then that all happens to the backdrop of all this bad marketing and merchandising and shitty choices and patch rollouts by Bandai Namco. I mean, the fact that Dragunov is still in the state that he is after all the nerfs that he's had, you know, it's really fascinating. And then they say that they're not going to balance update for the rest of the year, which means that we're just stuck with this. And I mean, it's everybody knows that the game is in a pretty sad state, right? So if we go back to this video by Gamer Fox, right? Let's stop the music here a little bit. I'm like Asmongold with all these tabs.
When you think of the worst entertainment companies of all time, a few names probably spring to mind. Disney, Activision Blizzard King, Warner Brothers, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, Microsoft. But there is one company I feel isn't talked about enough. Bandai. Bandai Namco, Bandai Spirits, just...
We're not going to watch this whole video, but basically I think the thesis statement that he has with this video is that Bandai Namco are terrible at marketing, and their main marketing strategy when it comes to their merchandise is the strategy known as artificial scarcity.
I think that they are easily one of the worst companies of all time. The company is riddled with problems, but the main reason I hate them is quite simple. Bandai doesn't know how to sell things. Bandai can't just sell you a product. There is always some catch or issue that does...
Tekken Mod's website reportedly hit with Bandai Namco legal threat. Yeah, this is true as well. And we had people, you know, have copyright strikes and their channels threatened on YouTube for showing mods, because mods were another thing that Bandai Namco indirectly wanted to monetize through their in-game store in Tekken 8, right?
Does not need to be there. It doesn't matter how good the product itself is. You're going to be subjected to a bad decision somewhere along the line.
Exactly, and I think that's a really good point as well. Tekken 8 in a lot of ways is a fantastic product. It's probably the best looking fighting game of all time. It still has this roster with all the characters we love, but there are decisions that seem to come from the business side, influencing the shape of the product, and that is what's making it worse. I think you could make the argument that the entire heat system, which is dominating how Tekken 8 is played, is coming from the business side, because you're sitting down and saying, how do we get, the casual audience to grow? How do we get more new players into this game and make them enjoy it? And how do we make, more short-term profits selling this? And then that has definitely, dictated the shape of the game. And then there's also all of this really scumbaggy marketing and monetization in the game that just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth.
Bandai loves to overcomplicate everything, and when something goes wrong because of their own bullshit, they refuse to fix the problem and instead give up, abandoning projects regardless of how active the user base is. They love artificial scarcity and are obsessed with making everything they release a limited time item. When those limited, hard to get items don't sell the massive amounts they want, they blame the franchise or the quality of the item, and then refuse to sell more. Bandai makes terrible, self-destructive decisions when producing, releasing, selling, and managing their products. They don't know how to sell things. People have been largely ignorant of Bandai's bullshit, but recently folks have taken notice. With the popularity of the One Piece card game, the flood of awful anime games, and the post-launch edition of microtransactions into Tekken 8, people are finally realizing just how terrible of a company Bandai is. I figured now is the best time to get all of my frustrations off my chest and add my feelings and experiences to the discussion. I mean, who better to tell
you get the point, right? Bandai Namco are terrible at marketing. And they do a lot of artificial scarcity stuff. It's also interesting that he mentions experience with Bandai Namco sort of giving up on projects, and what they then do, and he talks about this later, is they stop communicating, because this is something that we've had with Tekken many times, right? What happens with Tekken is like they make a terrible decision and we want them to communicate about it or do something about it, but what usually happens is they refuse to talk or say anything unless you get some sort of pissy and very condescending tweet from one of the directors of the project. There's basically no communication, and then we're just left in the dark for months on end. And they're just completely unwilling to ever communicate or address any kind of controversy, which just makes them seem even more dishonest and, starts building even more frustration on the consumer side. But it's crazy, right? Because you're seeing here like Gundam, Dragon Ball, One Piece, all these huge franchises that people really love. Tekken is one of them as well. You're dedicated to like this franchise that you love, and you want to consume good products from it, but they're just making it so difficult being this terrible company with their shitty marketing, right? GamerFox goes into like a long segment of this video where he describes how he was basically, as far as I can tell, scammed when it came to some sort of product that he really wanted to buy, some sort of Digimon toy that he really wanted to own, and they did some really scumbaggy stuff and manufactured, some of those things. But if we skip ahead,
I don't understand what you just said.
Please!
Please?
It seems like manufacturing products, the whole thing their entire company exists to do, is too difficult for Bandai. I say this because their number one favorite practice is artificial scarcity.
Yeah, so artificial scarcity, this gets
the insanely restricted practices that they use on their website. But did you know that Bandai loves to try and pull this shit in retail stores? If you're a fan of the One Piece card game, you know that right now it is almost impossible to get your hands on even a single booster. The game is not available anywhere, and fans are absolutely livid. Bandai is not manufacturing enough cards to meet the massive demand, and they're doing it on purpose. The company is actively producing cards in Japan, but in America, they haven't done squat. They have the production means available. They have the power to print more cards, but they are choosing not to. Why? The reason is simple: to artificially raise demand for their product. Bandai likes how hard it is for you to get their products here in America, because it makes them more desirable. If you don't buy that item right now, you may never see it again. Resellers will scoop it up for sure, and if you don't
you get the point, right? If you have this supply and demand curves, and they're going to intersect at a specific point, you can manipulate where the price point is going to be by using artificial scarcity. What's interesting about that, right? If you have something like a card game, like this One Piece card game is apparently very popular. If you have the cards available to buy all over the world and people are buying them a lot, you're going to get a culture going where people, have tournaments or whatever and want to play this card game all the time. When you do something like this, what you're doing is you're inflating your short-term profits, but you are damaging the longevity of the culture and the product, right? And so when you roll out a game like Tekken 8 and your goal is for it to be played, for like a decade so that you can continue to monetize it, making these scumbaggy, shitty decisions that burn people in the long run, but inflate your sales in the short term and then ruins your reputation is not really the strategy to go with, right?
Their product in the long run. They make an effort to fix the supply issues and communicate with their audiences to make things right. Bandai, however, doesn't give a single shit. They, once again, have been completely silent on the issue, and they have the utter lack of foresight to see that this is the sort of problem that kills card games. If players can't play the game, they're not going to. Sales may look good when products sell out in 5 minutes. You might get a lot of immediate profit from scalpers, but in the long run, you'll be killing any interest folks may have. Bandai doesn't only do this with card...
Right, so you get the point of the video. I think it's interesting and well made, so definitely go watch it. I don't really do like react content like this, but I think, you know, that was a fine way of doing it, of watching somebody else's video. I at least hope so. But there you go. So one thing that I started wondering, looking at all this stuff, is like Bandai Namco as a company, because he said the main thing they do is make products to buy, right? Merchandise, toys. And I was like, is that true? So I looked up some financial statements for the company. So here you can have a look at the first quarter and first half results of 2024 for Bandai Namco. And we have net sales by segment here in the second box, and you can tell, I hope it's picking up on screen because it's quite small, but we've got entertainment digital, right? And then we've got entertainment toys and hobby. And if you look at toys and hobby, you can see that in the first quarter it's almost twice the net sales of digital entertainment, so video games, right? And while it's not twice as much, you know, when you look at the whole year, it is significantly larger. So Bandai Namco as a whole is definitely a company that makes more money selling toys and merchandise than they do video games. And so it's probably this strategy of, you have these game franchises going that you're selling and you own all these IPs, and then you also, you know, own or have the licensing rights to make all this merchandise, and then you use artificial scarcity, put that stuff on the market, and you make a lot of money that way. One part of Gamer Fox's video that we didn't talk about is that there's this specific site called, I think, P Bandai or something, and it's all about them rolling out gated, time exclusive products that you can only pre-order, not even buy, but pre-order in a very small window of time. And if they're popular things like One Piece, they'll sell out in a few minutes, and then at the end of the day you have to wait for your product for a really long time, and it's probably going to arrive, you know, in a state that isn't, you know, completely finished or broken somehow. That sort of thing apparently happens a lot, and then they don't communicate with you, and they don't, you know, issue refunds the way they're supposed to in an ethical way. So it's just like really scumbaggy overall. But in the context of Tekken 8 and what's been happening with that, it just makes a whole lot of sense, because it's kind of this marketing strategy of burn fast and bright and then burn out and have no longevity, piss all over your own reputation and burn people who are so in love with your franchise that they won't leave you behind, even though they really should. They're sort of starting to really implement that in a digital space, as far as I can tell. Which brings us to, this is just a new Nina statue that apparently is going on sale, and depending on how well this sells, they've said that they might make even more. So it's this thing of like, they either make huge profits on the product, or they don't, you know, want to continue creating them, which, you know, makes sense from a business standpoint. But it's just another piece of merchandise that I saw on Reddit today, probably the cheapest one, even though it definitely wasn't cheap. But that brings us to, oh my god. I haven't shown the glasses to my girlfriend yet. I kind of want to get her reaction. Should we do it live? Nah, she's busy working. But so, I mean, it's so funny because Mishima boys like really like Kazuya, partially because he's supposed to be this hard ass who's like, you know, few words and wears leather and is all cool. But this is him like posing like some sort of fucking cam girl in front of the mirror, you know, before, you know, going for a night on the town. Only the duck face is missing. I mean, this is okay. I love these glasses. So they're by a company called Gentle Monster, which apparently do merchandise for different franchises or whatever. But these glasses are no joke. $500, and they are easily like the ugliest piece of merchandise I've ever seen for anything. Now I think you might actually be able to sell a couple of these. I think the one you're going to have the best shot with is the Kazuya Light, because basically every content creator in the world who make content on Tekken is a Mishima boy, right? So you can put this in the background of your streams. Apparently they're not selling that well, so maybe you can talk to Murray and Harada and get a good deal on one. And you know, it's going to make perfect sense for your gaming room, but I mean, who wants any of this cuck trash? It's but apparently it's you know how Bandai Namco make their money. It's another one I saw float by the way. Harada and Michael Murray say that they will retire after Tekken 9, which is, you know, at least another 10 years down the line. My point would be, why wait? While we do make a lot of, you know, fun of these guys these days because of how hard they are, you know, shitting on the game with their team, it obviously isn't them making all of these decisions. They apparently, you know, obviously work in a company that that operates like this and demands that they also operate like this. So, you know, it's not personal, but, you know, I'd be very, very embarrassed to work for a company like this. Now, later today, we are going to have the... I want to have this picture in the background because I think it's so awesome. We're going to have a gameplay trailer for Heihachi, which is probably going to inject a lot of players back into Tekken 8, and we're going to see a spike of popularity for the game, which is obviously great. And they're going to have a Tekken talk, which is when they sit down in an awkward panel that is twice as long as it has to be, because Michael Murray slowly translates everything live instead of, you know, them pre-recording it and then releasing it with subtitles. But I might restream this or like stream it live, and then maybe, you know, we can sort of translate it as we go through it if there's anything interesting. I haven't really decided. Maybe I'll just comment on, you know, what happens after the fact, because I don't want to sit here for like hours listening to them, you know, drone on and show me more products and goods that I can buy. Do you think they're going to try and like show the glasses during the stream? Because when they do Tekken talks, they give you like some sort of hype thing, you know, gameplay thing for the game, and then they're actually just showing you products that you can fucking buy for way too much money for the rest of the stream, right? But what would be really cool is some sort of roadmap for what's happening with balance, you know, how many times and in what different ways are we going to nerf Dragunov and so on, you know, and what else is going to be happening with the game. I'm going to try and hold out a little bit of hope for this franchise, because even though I make a lot of fun of Tekken these days, I mean, I want the game to be good, and I want it to persist, and I want to, you know, one day get back into it and have fun playing it. It's just, you know, not really a viable strategy at the moment. So yeah, interesting stuff. There's more to talk about. I found so many things looking into this, but just, you know, a short video going through some of the systemic problems at this strange and very unfortunate company. I'll see you guys again maybe later today or tomorrow. We'll talk about what happened during the Tekken talk. But thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you guys again very soon.